Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 TS, final race of the season in the Podium tier. The Drivers' Championship's already wrapped up, but we've got the Constructors' Championship to wrap up and lots of Constructors' battles all the way down the standings between these 10 teams. Alongside me I've got Jono and Odem, so welcome to you both.
Hello.
Thank you, Nick. Evening, everyone.
Would say it's a commentator box 100% champions, but unfortunately Odems has popped in to join us, so he kind of breaks that record. But it's good to have him here, and we have 18 drivers for this finale here in season 10. And what are you both expecting from these 18? We'll start with you, Jono.
Expecting everybody to give it their all here. I'm expecting maybe some even more battles than we usually get here, as everyone just goes all out to try and end on a high. And obviously we got the Constructors battle also on the line, so I'm expecting an action-packed race.
Good stuff. And yourself, Odem?
Same for me. You know, pressure's off. Last race of the season. Everyone wants to end on a high, but equally everyone, you know, they've got nothing to lose really, except for a few of them, so it should be a good race. Interesting.
Difficult lap to hook up here as well, guys. I believe there's 24 corners around this track, which is one of the longest, if not the longest, on the calendar. So how difficult is it going to be for these guys to not only hook up a good lap, but compromise for getting some good turn in through the final sector, but not losing the straight line speed down those two long back straights?
Go on, Odems, you've been practicing for this week's Pinnacle tier race, so you can probably answer that one a bit better than me.
Yeah, this track is treacherous really. There's so many places you can mess up. There's so many places you can cut and extend. I feel like if you mess up the first sector, there's just so many places to gain that time back. It's a very varied track, and I'm running quite high wings, so that might be a detriment for the race. Some people might be running lower, so there's going to be a variance in not only setups but tires as well, which is usually a good recipe.
Alrighty, well, as we're under 10 minutes now of the session, you might have seen earlier we did a special announcement, the rebranding at F1 TS Hub, so make sure you head over to our YouTube channel and check out that video. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and give us a like on our new Facebook page as well, as we've introduced to what we already have. And it looks like there's a Williams here slightly holding up a Ferrari in the final sector. I'm not sure who the Ferrari is. It's going to be Matt, your daddy, as Lukey isn't here. Guys, Kian, what did you make of his season? He's a new champion.
Yeah, it's been a great season from him. He was absolutely delighted last week as well. You can tell how much it meant to him in that interview afterwards. He's worked hard for it, and he thoroughly deserves it. And yeah, he'll be looking to go out there tonight and add the Constructors title to that list as well.
Yeah, definitely, Odems.
Yeah, huge credit to him, because not only did he show he like at the start of the season he pinpointed the Drivers' Championship something he wanted to win. You rarely ever see a driver so outwardly express that they want to win the Drivers' Championship. He did so straight after qualifying night, and immediately we knew that he was going to live up to the hype. And he really, the last stretch of the season when he wasn't having connection issues, he really just dominated. Really showed his pace. Thinking Monza, Austin. So yeah, definitely a worthy champion.
And Stifler moved down from the Pinnacle tier. We expected him to kind of join that title fight, but it seems as though his season went not as the way you would have expected, since he came down to the Podium tier. But currently he's sitting at the top of the timesheets with just over halfway left in this session, and Dweller the only driver on the Super Softs at the moment, everyone else on the Ultras.
Techno hasn't got a lap in. I was on board with him the entire time. He invalidated both laps, so
yeah.
Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, same. The laps were looking pretty decent as well, but yeah, he validated both of them. So pressure will be on for him now, to get out and try and get a time on the board. But yeah, not ideal at all. It looks like corner cutting could play a pretty big deal here. Are we expecting penalties in the race, Odems, do you think, from a few of the drivers?
Oh yeah, a lot of penalties. I think with tire wear, especially, you get more penalties.
The car isn't fully hooked up like you'd like it to be. for example, in the practice race I did, for a while, I got like, I don't know, 6 seconds worth of penalties on my ultra soft stint, and I didn't get a single warning afterwards on my super soft. That's just how much tire wear was a factor. Also, there'll be, battling other cars. There'll be a lot of things that'll just, get that one warning to push you over the edge and get a penalty. I don't expect anyone to be penalty free.
Ali spinned it. That's where is that? That's coming down to just the end of sector 1, I believe. That's after turn 3, isn't it? But he's so far off the track. How did he end up there?
He must have hit the bump on the exit of the long turn 3 and just became a passenger after that.
Yeah, the stewards mentioned that one in the stewards report. If you understeer wide there and hit that massive bump, it could just absolutely launch your car and you've got no chance if you catch it wrong.
Well, Jonas here heading into the final corner in his McLaren. Himself and Razor have a pretty tight Drivers' Championship standings at the moment. Let's just head over and check. I'm sure it was separated by just a single point. I could be, no it is, so Razor is on 63, of course a veteran driver here and premium member, and then you got Jonas on 62, so it'll be interesting to see out of those two who's going to finish on top of each other. I know Jonas would love to beat Razor, but I'm sure Razor likewise would like to stay ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, they've been so evenly balanced for a lot of the season. We've seen lots of on-track action between the two drivers as well, so it's been a really good pairing there between those two as the season's progressed.
Guys, quick shout out, Jamie, obviously on our team that helps run the league, and he will continue to be on the team, but it's his final race for the immediate future F1 TS Hub. He's had some good form since he actually announced his retirement, but just a quick thought from each of you on Jamie.
Well, yeah, he's had a up and down season. He's had a pretty good season overall, I think. I think he had a bit of a dip perhaps mid-season, but as you mentioned, he's definitely found his form the last few races, and yeah, he's looking to end the season on a high and pick up a good result here.
Yeah, he has done very well towards the back end of the season. He's very consistent, very careful, and I did notice this is one of the beautiful things about the driver's press conference, is that I'm pretty sure at one point, or maybe it wasn't anyway, I'm pretty sure at one point we pinpointed the fact that he's not a very aggressive driver. He's very cautious when he tries to overtake. I remember last season in season 9 I overtook him from so far back because he just broke so early behind another car. But he's definitely upped that part of his game up. I remember he did a brilliant overtake in Silverstone, and yeah, so I think now that he's performed, it's even more of a shame to see him retire. But if the F1 2018 turns out to be a good game, we could definitely see him back.
We definitely could, and a little bit of what we're going to be watching out for here today. Jono and myself worked out that Sauber just need to score 20 points between Dweller and Techno Thriller in order to secure the Constructors' Championship. If Williams can outscore them by 20 points, if they don't score 20 points and Williams outscore them, then Williams will be crowned the championship. So it's definitely not going to be easy for Williams to try and steal this title away from Sauber. But I think whichever team does come out on top is definitely going to be the deserving team, that's for sure. Just under 2 minutes left in the session now. Stifler currently on top. Kian and the Bookster very close behind, under 0.2 of a second. Then you've got Matt Your Daddy in 4th, Ols up to 5th, Kev's in 6th, Lukey's in 7th, Jonas in 8th, Gaza in 9th, and Jamie rounds out the top 10. We do have a few drivers, Techno Thriller being one of them, who hasn't set a lap time. Just riding on board, Oden's mentioned that he cut a few corners. But yeah, here we are, 1.5 minutes to go, and it looks like we're going to have a flurry with quite a few cars, 8 cars I believe, out on outlaps. And I'm pretty excited to find out who's going to take the final pole position here in Season 10 of the Podium tier.
Yeah, both the Saubers haven't set laps.
Sorry, go on. Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
Great minds think alike.
So yeah, maybe a bit under pressure here. They wouldn't want to start at 16th and 18th, surely.
No, definitely not. They've got it all to do here with less than a minute to go in qualifying. They're both leaving it very late.
Matt, your daddy sets the fastest lap of the race. That's impressive from him. And Technothrill is going to come across the line now. What can he do? He jumps to the top by 0.6 of a second. So he obviously felt confident that he had the pace. He goes wide at turn 1, and that's lap over and done with. He did have enough fuel, but his teammate, what can his teammate do? His teammate went wide there. He's coming under the hotel now. This isn't a quick lap, so he'll just cross the line with enough time. But Dweller will not want to be starting in 18th place. That will not be a comfortable position for the Salvers to be in.
Yeah, Kian's just about to set off for his final lap as well, so he's timed that well. With 10 seconds left, he's crossed the line to go for another lap. He's currently down in 4th, so he'll be hoping to get himself at least towards that front row if he can.
Yeah, lots of drivers on laps here. Jonas, Gaza and Razor are the only ones who won't be able to set another time. Techno Thriller has backed off, so has Matt Your Daddy, I believe. So all the guys behind will be looking to jump ahead a few positions. Jamie's just down on his lap by 0.5 after 2 sectors. So we'll keep an eye and see what... after the first sector. So we'll keep an eye on his second sector time just now, and he's up by 100,000, so very close indeed and consistent. Yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. Has someone made a mistake?
Techno retired, I believe.
Okay, Kev finishes in 6th position, so he improves his time, but 6th is where he's starting at the moment. Dweller, I'm still riding on board with him. He just comes across in the second sector. He's looking to take this lap a little bit more cautious. There's a Ferrari off there. I can only presume he's given up. Anyone else on quick laps, guys?
Stifler, Kian and Bookster, all of them.
Quick shout out. Who's going to get pole? Quick name.
You have to say Techno at the moment.
Techno comes into the
very,
pits.
very close behind him, between 2nd and 5th, 6th is very, very close, but Techno's time.
Ooh, only 2nd for Stifler and Bookster as well. None of them could beat Kian. What can he do? Only 4th.
Matt, your daddy isn't completing the lap. You've got Green Finn, I believe, the only driver. He's bailed. Oh, in fact, he's hit the pit lane entrance, so he's doing a Jamie. And yeah, there we have it. That is the qualifying result, as we'll wait for Greenfin to come into the pits. But Techno Thriller, you called it, Odems. You said he was quick here, and he's taken pole position. Sauber will be smiling, but Dweller down in 8th currently.
Yeah, it was really close between 2nd and 6th with Kev there. It's just a couple of tenths between them all. But Techno's lap, 4 tenths ahead of the next car. That was a fantastic lap for him, you have to say. And after missing last week, he's definitely looking to pick up a win here to end the season.
Kian 0.5 second off one of his title contenders throughout the season. Do you think he's taken the foot off the pedal a little bit, or is this just a track that Techno Thriller is suited more towards? What do you think, Odems?
I think it's the latter. I think Techno Thriller, he uses no assist as well, so no traction control. So I think this track definitely suits him a bit more. And yeah, he's definitely very quick around here. So I don't think Keen is really let off the pace. I think Techno is just passing his own at the moment. But it remains to be seen if he can translate that to the race, though.
Yeah, we have seen Techno Thriller struggle with tyre wear in the opening stint on some occasions when he has been leading. So that's something to keep an eye on here today. Strategy is already going to be worked out, you would think, but the result after the final qualifying session of this podium's poll: Stifler takes 2nd, the Bookster's in 3rd, Kian's in 4th, Matt Your Daddy's 5th, 6th is Kev, 7th is Ols, 8th is Dweller, 9th is Lukey, 10th is Jamie, 11th is Jonas, 12th is Gaza, Spider Atlas is 13th, Tejwar's 14th, Razar's 15th, Maverick 16th, Greenfin 17th, Ali is in 18th position. Everyone qualified on the Ultra Soft, the Ultra Soft. From 11th down, they will be able to, of course, pick what tyre they'd like to start the race on. We're expecting one stop here, but with the final race of the season, there isn't a lot to lose for some of these drivers. Just a quick one, Bookster. He'll want to score enough points to keep 2nd place in standings. I know that was one of his aims heading into tonight's race. So with Techno Thriller on pole and him down in, is it 4th, I believe, or 3rd? third. So at the moment, I don't think it would be enough to earn a third to take second, but I'm sure that's something that's going to be in the back of his mind heading into this race. Also, guys, just a few things we need to look out for. Haas and Red Bull are separated by 4 points, so be interesting to see who's going to finish 9th and 10th out of those two teams. And then the next one, Renault in 5th, Ferrari in 6th, and Toro Rosso in 7th. 149 for Renault, 147 for Ferrari, and 146 for Toro Rosso. So after 19 races, there is only 3 points between those three teams. Here we are, formation lap, and that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, to see which team is going to finish on top there. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. Wow, look at that. The top 10 starting on ultra softs, 11th down to 18th, all starting on super soft tyres. So it's almost like you're going to see a bit of a 2 races here, especially in the opening stint.
Yeah, Jonas is the big winner from that. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's the first time I think we've seen that, at least when I've been commentating, that there's been a split complete like that between 11th and the top 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Jonas is the big winner from that as well, because he's obviously pole position in relative terms. So if he can, jump ahead of maybe Jamie or Lukey, then he's in a golden spot. One thing I wanted to note that I don't think we've taken, I'm trying to remember the figures we have on pole positions, because I believe Techno and Kian have the most. I'm wondering who's, gotten the most out of this season.
It's definitely something I'd have to have a quick look at, but it'll be definitely between Kian and Techno Thriller. When we did the mathematics with 3 rounds to go, I have a feeling they were either tied or 1 away. So they're definitely right up the top. And if you see disqualified, it is only from the formation lap. Quickly, Jono, I just want to ask you, last race of the season, a lot of drivers have nothing to lose. Do you expect a busy steward's office, or do you think it'll just kind of get swept under the carpet in terms of drivers won't be bringing it to the office this weekend?
Yeah, I think in the past, although we have maybe seen quite a few incidents in the final race of the season, drivers tend to just think that's the season done, put a line under it, and don't tend to take it to the stewards. So we might see a bit of activity in the steward's office, but I don't expect it to be too bad.
I expect that if, it's for the race win, and it's the Bookster or something, he would immediately go to the stewards, because no one likes losing a race win on the premise that it's the last race of the season, you might as well just let it go.
Yeah, and especially, of course, all those stats get added up over your F1 TS Hub career, so it's, chance of getting another podium or something like that isn't one that's going to want to be lost. Here we go then, the final time this podium tier are going to head out with the lights going off, and it's going to be an exciting one. Let's take a front row seat to this. The 5 red lights are on, and we are away. Stifler gets a bit of a tank slapper at the start, but the Bookster has a decent start in the Force India. Remember, the top 10 on the Ultra, 11th down to 18th on the Supers. A bit of contact between the Renault and the Sauber. He's now under attack. This is a hard place to try and pull an overtake. You've got Kian trying to go around the outside of the Bookster now. Yellow flags as we're seeing Jamie dropping down the order. He's obviously had a bit of contact at the start. Kian's now dropped down and gained a position back up, and it's all looking pretty tight throughout the whole grid at the moment. Spider Atlas with a 5-second penalty as well. Odems, did you catch anything on the start there that perhaps I missed?
Yeah, Siffer's got a great run on Techno, because Techno went wide in the last chicane. I'm not sure if he's going to try anything or not. No. Techno ran wide in the first corner, and he came back into the path of Stifler. And I believe Stifler just about avoided front wing damage, but he almost overtook him there, so that was also very close. Then Kane and Books going side by side through turn 3. We know that what happened the last time they went side by side. It didn't end well, so unfortunately this paid out well enough. Kev has stayed ahead of Dweller, and Matt Your Daddy's still there in 6th, so very, very tight start, and be interested to see how this pans out.
I think Lukey and Jamie must have had contact. They're both a long way back at the back of the field now.
Yeah, they are. So we can see that the super soft runners haven't overtaken anyone except those two. They've all just moved up. Jonas obviously not having an ideal start down in 13th. Gaza is now leading that super soft train. Techno Thriller leading the ultra soft train, but everyone looking very tight within DRS zone here, so it won't open until after 2 laps. But we expect some moves. We want some moves. Last race of the season, Abu Dhabi, the finale, the Constructors' Championship as it stands. Where is Dweller? Dweller is in 7th position, so Sauber will be gaining 32. Yeah, it'll definitely be going Sauber's way as it stands at the moment. Something big is going to have to change in order for Williams to steal this. We've got Greenfin and Jamie in the pits. Carry on, Odems.
Yeah, Bookster had a terrible 3rd sector, and I don't think he had the best 1st sector either. And Keane closed right up to the back of him. He actually tried to move into the chicane, but that only just lost him time to Matt Your Daddy. And now, not only does Keane have no chance of attacking the Bookster into turn 7, I believe. Turn 8, yeah. Now Your Daddy is going to be the one attacking Keane, but he opts to just file in and keep a single file.
Not enough slipstream there, perhaps. And look at all these battles. Now Kev's under attack from Duello. Talk us through this one, Jono.
Kev going defensive, but the Cyber is getting a good run on him on the outside, but he probably will end up with nowhere to go. And yeah,
he's got the job done. He switched back to the inside.
My game has switched away from that. He did.
Kev's lost to Ols as well, so Kev falling down the order 2 positions there. Perhaps it was a bit of a dive bomb down the inside, I'm not sure, but Kev now under attack from Gaza on the super soft, so it's not an ideal start for Williams so far. Sauber are taking this championship as we stand, but 28 laps here in Abu Dhabi and plenty still to play for. Greenfin went onto the soft tyre whilst Jamie went onto the supers, so changing fastest laps between the top 2, and DRS is going to be open. This is going to provide a bit more fun.
It seems that not only is Stifler hanging up to the back of Techno Chiller, bit of understeer there. The Booker is not liking this opening laps, and Keane is for sure. I'm interested to see if Keane does dispatch the Bookster. Will he be able to, get into the back of Stifler and make that three-way affair?
Yeah, this is, don't forget, this is battle for the trying to break slipstream here, Jono. Inside to the outside. I know that's something you quite like to do.
I do. Definitely a lot of weaving going on there by the Bookster, but drivers at the moment not looking to be able to get that close actually into the braking zone. Yeah, the Slipper's already picked up at least 1 time penalty I see as well already. So yeah, these drivers close at the front at the moment, but it could well come down the result to who picks up the least penalties come the end.
Yeah, Bookster lost out. Obviously, his championships hopes ended in Brazil last week, and he's sitting in 2nd place, and he's got the champion behind him. I'm sure there's a little bit of pride involved in 3rd and 4th right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's he'll be determined, the Bookster, to hold on to 3rd place. We've already seen, by the way, he was moving the brake slipstream, that I think he'll defend it quite hard if he needs to. And just to note as well, Jamie, it looks like as he pitted or he started on the he was on the ultras, wasn't he? So Jamie has pitted on it to hit the supers.
Greenfin's pit again.
Hit twice.
Yeah. So he's on the supers now. So Greenfin, he's going to have a long afternoon at the back there. Jonas, the latest driver to get himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cuts. Let's have a look through the field and see whether we can see any other close battles just before Keane and Bookster get to the long straight.
You know what? I think Stifler does have front wing damage. I think it might be that sort of green one that you can barely see, but I think he does because his understeer through turn 3 is not okay.
Oh, turn 3.
End up having
Tejwar out.
Tejwar.
What a way to end your season in the wall with 1 tyre missing. And he'll be disappointed with that. And the Mercedes, been a disappointing second half of the season for them after they looked so promising at the start. Had a few driver changes, and yeah, they've ended in the wall. Ali, the sole remaining Mercedes left in this finale. But no safety car, I imagine, because that is definitely in a dangerous place. And let's go back on board with Keane and the Bookster. Keane has a little look there, but thinks better of it. Oh, Maverick and Lukey are having a swap round.
You have to say Stifler's pace is pretty good at the moment. If he has got wing damage, he did run into the back of Techno in turn 1 on lap 1. And like you mentioned, he is struggling with understeer in turn 3, but he's managing it pretty well, and he's keeping it within sort of 6th, 7th, 10th. So he's going pretty well if he does indeed, as we suspect, possibly have the very smallest amount of wing damage there on the front.
Yeah, Maverick must have cut a corner there, which is why he got ahead of those two, because he let him back through Lukey and Spider Atlas on the next straight. So Lukey as well all over the back of that Renault. Isn't the defending champion anymore, of course. He was the Season 9 champion, but Kian now takes over the reign of the defending champion once we get underway in the next season. Oz is close to Dweller as well, so perhaps the Haas are looking at the moment jumping off last spot in this championship. Spider comes into the pits.
Kian is so close to the Bookster right now.
He is. The Bookster's actually closing down the Renault as well, I think.
Yeah,
so the Bookster has settled down a bit now.
Yeah, it seems Kian is just very quick at this stage. Imagine out of these 4, he's the quickest right now.
So here we are, the top 4 all within DRS as they head down into the first part of the long straight. It seems slipstream here, as we all know on this game, it just isn't possibly enough to get the job done. Kian's got a good run though.
Kian. Once he got a terrible run, more like he looks around the curve. Yeah. It was awful. He turned way too early.
Oh, looks like Kian's going to try around the outside. Bookster, is he going to... No, Bookster has to concede the position. That is job done there from the champion, and he definitely hasn't put his foot off the gas in this finale, and you can already see him pulling away from the Bookster. So obviously more comfortable on those ultra soft tyres in this opening stint, and we'll look for Kian to now close that gap to the top 2 and see whether he can finish his championship winning season on the top step. Oz meanwhile still 4/10. Carry on.
So I find that around that turn, I think turn 10 or 11, I find that
Dweller's
going
in.
around the outside is the best way to overtake around there.
If you're pitting now, Odems, surely you're committing to a 2-stop race as Dweller now comes into the pits.
Yeah, for sure. That's not going to help Sauber's chances, although Technotriller leading will. What are we on lap 6? Yeah, it's very early. Very, very early.
Oh, Oz has spun it on turn 3. Is he going to be able to keep it out of the barrier? He's so far off the track. He's almost creating his own track there, but the car had a wobble. He corrected it so quickly, and the car then just snapped, and there he was sliding all 4 wheels, not the direction they're meant to be rotating, and yeah, back down to 10th position now. So Gaza in 7th, so he's basically just helped Red Bull keep that 9th position, and I'm sure he'll be looking to fight back from there.
Guess who's behind Gaza as well? The 2 McLarens. Razor leading Jonas.
So 1 point separates them, and Razor leads by 1 point, so whoever finishes ahead, if they both finish in the points of course, will mean that I believe Jonas wins on 2nd places. So that's one to look out for, definitely. Kian slowly closing that gap in. Carry on, Jono.
Sorry, Jonas has just run into the back of Razor there in the braking zone for turn 11, and he's damaged the right hand side of his front wing. So unfortunately for Jonas now, that's going to cost him time. I don't know whether he'll try and continue or bring it into the pits. But yeah, I expect to see him fall off the back of Razor now either way.
Stifler is right on the back. He's caught right back up to Technotriller again. And Keen's just outside of DRS zone, so maybe Stifler's got another kick.
Matt your daddy's in. Matt your daddy's in, so we can only think he's 2-stopping as well here today.
Oh, look at that understeer. See that?
I did. Stifler understeering badly through turn 3. Oh, Dennis, do you think that's because he's in dirty air as well behind Technothriller? Does that affect the car badly in turn 3?
Yeah, that's another thing it could be, but before, a while ago, he was far enough back to where it shouldn't affect him that much. So, I don't know, maybe I'm bigging up too much. He doesn't have any front wheel damage at all, but he definitely has a run on Techno right now.
Yeah, it definitely has a run, and here he goes down the inside. Is he going to be able to do this on the brakes? Technothriller gives him room. Technothriller got a 3-second penalty there on this lap as well, but is able to keep the position this time around. Is Stifler going to have another look? Kian, meanwhile's absolutely rubbing his hands together whilst he closes in on this battle, and the Bookster will perhaps try and hang on to join the fun, but doesn't look like that Renault is going to have enough. It looks like Techno Odems is struggling on with his tires. We've seen this so many times when he's been leading that he seems to struggle on his tires in the opening stint. Once we get, you know, after 5 or 6 laps.
And it's so surprising because oh, there we go. Now it's off. Yep, now it's off. Stifler's lost his front wing on techno. Looked, I don't know, on my screen he didn't even touch him, but maybe he did, and it was just on screen. But maybe that was a bit of lag. Who knows? But now his front wing's definitely off. He opted not to put into the pits. He's right there, Keane.
What lap would you expect the ultra soft drivers to be pitting, Odems? Do you think he's best switching strategy now with that damage?
If you're going onto the softs, lap 9 is the best time to pit. If you're going onto the supers, then it's just lap 10 or 11. Here we go. Keane right down the outside.
Yep, yeah. Stifler went wide. That was position conceded almost before it happened, and he's going to set out now chasing. This, of course, is for the constructors' battle. Williams versus Sauber. So where's Kev? Kev's in 5th at the moment, and Dweller is after stopping in 8th position. So it's going to be hard to work out the strategies here until perhaps the last stint. But Lukey now into the pits for the soft tyre.
I think Stifler should probably, I think he needs to pit the end of this lap, I think. Do you think Odems can just make the best of the situation now? He's losing a lot of time here already.
If he has good enough tyre wear, I would go into the softs and change that. But yeah, it's such a terrible thing to. Oh, fuck's hits the back of him. It's such an awful thing to happen to your race. So damaging. It's front wing damage, especially this year compared to last year. I wonder if Buxton might have a cheeky go into this mini hairpin.
Yeah, he thinks about it, but he decides better. He perhaps he thinks that Stifler's going to come in, or he'd rather wait until the straight. But the top 5 all on the ultra soft, and he is really struggling at the moment. Ooh. And look at that going down
here, but he can't now.
Oh, he had to back out of that one, and he comes into the pits. Who also comes in? Techno Thriller. So Techno Thriller into the pits. Is he going to go on the softs, or is he going to commit to a 2-stop race? We're about to find out. And Sauber, the mechanic's waiting in his pit box. This needs to be a quick one. The team want to walk away with this championship here today, and he's onto a soft tyre. So you presume he's going to the end from there. Stifler's going on to the soft as well.
I imagine Keane's going to go into the supers just to give Techno a game of it. And Buxter maybe as well, because I did practice with these lot, and I think they know that the ultra soft to supers is the quicker strategy. So maybe that's what they're priming for. Either way, we have a race on our hands, for sure.
So does Olds. He's got Jonas behind him, so those two both making mistakes earlier in the race, and they find themselves next to each other on track. Yeah, look at Gaza now all over Kev, so those super soft tyres really coming into play here now, once we get to this stage in the race, it seems, Jono.
Yeah, they are, absolutely, and Gaza up to 3rd place now at the moment, with those couple of pit stops ahead as well. As Kian now picks up a time penalty as well, so they're adding up for all the drivers.
Yeah, Odems, do you think we'll see lots of penalties from these guys towards the end of the race? I know you said you practiced the other day, you didn't get any in one whole stint. But I was saying to Jono earlier, when you come out on fresh tyres, sometimes you just turn in too early, and it's just that extra grip. Keane's in.
Yeah, I used to feel that way, but it's been, I think, in this case, it's a lot better. That extra grip is much better, and it's way too helpful for there to be any sort of downside to it. Yeah.
Kev's also pitted.
Kev
says on my screen.
Yeah, and he comes.
Yeah, he has.
So he would have had to. That would have delayed his pit stop. Surely, them both pitting on the same lap, unless they thought they had a big enough gap where the mechanics could do both without simming losing them any time. But yeah, it looks like Kev's coming out in 9th position. So Dweller after that early stop up to 6th. Razor still on his supers now up to 5th as well. Gaza sitting in 2nd.
Keane's out on the softs, so he opted to go onto the soft. I imagine Buxter's going super soft then.
Yeah, a good mix of strategies here.
Yeah, it did cost Kian a second or two there, obviously pitting the one lap later. Techno did get a bit of an undercut there, but yeah, if he does struggle with tyre wear again towards the end of the race could come to Kian, and you know, we were presuming well, by the look of the pace he had early on, he's possibly the quickest driver on track at the moment, or at least he was at the early stages of the race, so we'll keep an eye on the gap between those two now and see if Kian can bring it down, currently 1.7 seconds.
Jamie versus Lukey here for 12th and 13th place. Jamie's last race, of course, and here comes Lukey. Bit of slipstream and DRS. Is he going to try this down to the inside? He does indeed. Is Jamie going to fight him? They're going to go side by side through this corner. A little touch on the wheels there. He's able to keep the position.
That's a spun. I don't know what happened, but yeah, he spun.
Wing damage as well.
Yeah, his right started nullified. I think maybe he hit the tech controller, got past him, and he hit the back of the tech controller. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't good.
Just coming into the pits now. Also, Bookster's in for a set of soft tyres. So Bookster going on the same strategy that his rivals have gone on, and he can see them just come out in front of him as they head now down towards turn 4. Techno Thriller leads Kian by 1.5 seconds. The Bookster comes out in 3rd place. Razor still holding on to 4th after not stopping, and we can see Dweller is right behind the McLaren now to come and join this party.
Yeah, he's going to be lining Razor up here, I think. As they come out of turn 7 and power down, it looks like he should have the speed as he opens DRS, moves to the inside, and as long as he picks his braking point correctly, it should be job done, and yet he moves across and position gain, so up to 4 for Body Dweller.
Spider being, not Spider, sorry, Spider getting a penalty. Razor being clever there as well. He doesn't want to lose too much time battling cars that he isn't actually racing against. So, he's got a sensible head, does Razor, and he's currently sitting in 5th. And we saw in Japan, he's ready to take advantage of any mistakes that these top drivers make on race day. We've got some battles going on down the back here as well. Jamie, Spider Atlas, Lukey, and Gaza, who just come out of the pits. So those 4 drivers all having a little bit of a ding-dong here in this finale.
I've made about 3 wrong calls here. Bookster decided to go into the softs as well. It's a shame that he didn't feel his supers were good enough to go to the end, but yeah, he's gonna have to, you know, hope he has the pace advantage now, which I think judging from the early laps he doesn't really. And as we see now, the Techno Shitter isn't losing any time to Kian as he was early on, so maybe, you know, with the lack of tire wear on his new tires, it's evened out and his true pace is being shown.
Yeah, I'm slightly surprised the Bookster didn't try the other strategy, as you say, because he didn't look to quite have the pace of those lead 2 when they were on the same tyre. So I'm slightly surprised he didn't just try and do the opposite to those 2 and see if he can make something different happen. But yeah, he chose to follow them and pit softs.
He definitely did.
Pit a lap later too.
Let's have a quick look. We can see Renault 149, Ferrari 147, 146 for Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso are out of the points at the moment. Renault Stifler is in 7th place, so, and Matt Your Daddy's just ahead of him. So at the moment, Ferrari would be tied on points with Renault, I believe, if they finished in the positions.
He's just about to pass Razor as well. Sorry, Nick. He's gone to the inside into the braking zone for turn 11, and he gets the position. So yeah, Matt Your Daddy now up to 5th, and Techno and Body Dweller both picking up more time penalties.
So as it stands now, Ferrari would jump ahead of Renault in the standings, but of course Razor hasn't come into pit, so that is all going to change. Perhaps they will need their teammates of Spider Atlas and Lukey, who are in 12th and 14th, to come into play here to decide this one. Looked like there was a bit of wing damage there. As Stifler, did he get more? Stifler's got more wing damage. I think he hit the back of Razor. Yeah. So right hand side,
has wing damage as well.
So both of them have wing damage here. Razor stays out again, and Stifler will be wondering, what do I have to do to have a bit of clean air today?
Yeah, it seems, I remember last time Stifler was battling for the lead, it was in Baku, and he got front wing damage there too. He just seems to not be able to keep his wing all nice and toasty. I don't know what it is.
Razor.
Just...
Oh, he lost it. Oh.
He got lucky there. He hit it dead on with both tyres, so He didn't actually, yeah, didn't actually lose any parts of his car. Just quickly, guys, we can see that Razor is the only driver yet to stop, and Greenfin is the only driver to stop twice. So who do we think is going to be stopping again from this bunch? Definitely Dweller and Matt Your Daddy, and possibly Gaza, Jonas, Oles, all on the Ultras as well.
Yeah, I imagine Stifler might pit again as well to get rid of his broken front wing if he's not feeling it, because you know, driving with so much understeer feels disgusting. Still hanging on to the back of Razor just about, but
his race is being ruined here, really. Like you mentioned, he's hanging on to Razor, who's, you know, very slow. Obviously, hasn't pitted yet, so he's almost worn super softs. And Stifler, you know, not able to pass him on the on his soft. So as Razor
there he goes again.
Paused there, did he? I think there's some connection issues. Razor's lagging around a lot on my screen.
I think that was also just. I think he actually did hit him though.
Yeah, I think he did hit him into that corner, but he's going to have to come in surely now and repair that front wing. Set super softs will take him to the end. Razor also comes into the pits, so Razor's going to presumably. Do you think you could go ultra softs to the end, or is that asking too much on that softest compound?
What are we on, lap
14?
He could.
Yeah, only halfway distance.
I believe I could, but I'm not sure.
He's gone on to softs.
Definitely possible.
He's gone on to softs, and Stifler's gone on to supers.
That's a bit of a strange strategy then from Razor to take those that far if he's now got to stop again as well. Slightly odd one. And Kian, by the way, has got the gap down to 8/10 now.
I believe Kian has one less penalty too.
And we can see Jamie all over the back of Spider Atlas now. This is for 13th and 14th place, so no points up for grabs, but a little bit of pride here on the finale. Of course, Jamie's last race for the foreseeable future. In front, we can also see Stifler and Lukey, who are within DRS range. So is Lukey going to be able to try and mix things up here with the Renault? Both Renaults under
Jamie
attack.
got that wing damage again, by the way, as well.
So both Renaults under attack, but seemingly able to hold off on these straights, and Jamie falling out of DRS zone now.
I don't think Lukey's going to be a problem for us if he just pit onto those super softs.
Should have a pace advantage for sure. 0.4 of a second at the moment the gap is. Greenfin into the pits for third time today, so he's definitely not having a race to remember in that Haas at the back of the field. We know he has a lot of fans who come along to watch him, and guys, what do you think he'll be looking to do for next season?
Go on, Adams.
Who, Greenfin?
Yeah.
I know that he drives, you know, project cars, I think a bit more than he drives this game, so I know those two are completely different in terms of driving mechanics, so this season he's gotten used to it a bit more. Next season maybe he can, you know, just give a better representation of himself, you know, because he's not lucked out, but he's gotten a few of those lower scoring points a few times. So, you know, all he can do really is just aim a bit higher as he gets more accustomed to the game.
Yeah, he's shown good pace at times in races this season, but I think just consistency and just cutting out some of those little mistakes or whatever will help him to, you know, battle for points consistently next season.
Here comes Stifler on Gaza, by the way. Gaza on the ultra soft. Stifler just come out on a new set of supers, so this is for 10th position. Is the Renault going to be able to get past? He looks like he's lining him up for the second straight. It's sometimes better to do that here, guys. Just break nice and early. The second straight, and as Odem said, putting yourself on the outside for this heavy braking zone gives you the inside for the next corner. Can't do it this time, though.
I remember last time I set myself up for an overtake into that second straight. It didn't end very well, and it cost me the race win.
That's like a lot of your overtakes, though, isn't it, Odems? But Kian, 0.7 of a second behind Techno Thriller, the champion, is on a march here, trying to close that gap even further and perhaps have a move to try down into one of these long straights. We can see a right mixture in tyres, soft, ultras and supers, as Ols now comes into the pits. You have to say for his final stop he'll be putting on a set of supers, you would think. So from 8th position he'll drop down the order. Jonas is currently ahead of his teammate, but he will have to stop again, whereas Razor is looking like he will continue on to finish the race on that set of soft tyres. Salva, looks like they've got this one in the bag, don't you think, Jono?
Well, it is looking that way at the moment, isn't it? They're holding 1st and 4th positions, so yeah, barring any incident, you'd have to say that yeah, on pace at the moment, the Cyber Boys are doing enough.
So just quickly, guys, whilst we have a quiet moment with not too many overtakes going on, we'll switch over to Stifler in case he goes for a move on Gaza this time around. It looks like he might dive it up the inside. Oh, he does a half-hearted move, and it actually it's cost him some perhaps time. Gaza goes a little bit deep, but will he be able to keep that position his second straight? Here comes Stifler. DRS is open, of course, and it does help, but will it be enough? Is he going to go? Yeah, he goes down the inside, does Stifler on that fresh set, but he just can't do it on the brakes. Gaza's strong on the brakes here today, and he'll settle to stay behind now for perhaps another lap. Dwellers in the pits, by the way.
Maybe Stifler is a bit more cautious on the brakes, seeing as he's lost his foot wheel a few times.
This will be Dweller's final stop.
That's done wide. No one overtake for Stifler though.
Yeah, this section of the track's a bit full of the leader, isn't it? But yeah, so in case you missed it, we did a special announcement earlier on the rebrand of F1 TS Hub, and of course when the Season 11 reveal will be on the 30th of March, so make sure you put that one in your diary. We've got lots of new things to announce, the most we've ever had, most we've ever brought to a season, so I'm definitely excited to share all that with you. 30th of March, 8 PM live on YouTube, and make sure you check out the website www.f1tshub.com. If you race with us, you can fill out end of season survey, give us your feedback, let us know what you liked and disliked and what you think we can do better. Techno Thriller just got the gap out to over a second now, so it looks like these two are pretty evenly matched here tonight.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Matt, your daddy, because he kept playing down his chances. He kept saying that, oh, I'm probably going to spin, use my front wing on the pit entry. That's also a bit of his front wing, but I think these past few races, Mexico, Brazil, and now Abu Dhabi, he's shown that he's kind of had a bit of a best of the rest moniker. Just outside those podium positions, outside of Techno, Kian, and the Bookster. And here he is once again in 4th place, and it looks like he's going to stay there unless Kev can do anything about it. Speaking of which, he pits now.
So, Matty Daddy coming in for his second stop, and Jono, these guys who pit now are going to be rapid for the last 10 laps.
Yeah, they're going to be absolutely flying now and looking to make up positions. Yeah, with 10 laps remaining, it looks a bit more difficult than I expected to make those overtakes though in those big braking zones. With slipstream effect only having a limited effect here, it seems. It's not a slam dunk overtake like it has been in previous games, that's for sure.
Here we got Stifler all over the back of Razor now, so they obviously battled early in the race. That's where Stifler got his wing damage, and here they are battling again for 7th and 8th. It looks like Jonas is ahead, but is he going to have to pit again? Jamie's into the pits, as is Greenfin.
Matt, your daddy in the pit lane there, almost as Gaza was coming around turn 3. I think Gaza got slightly scared off the circuit there and ended up running over those bumps on the outside of turn 3. And so yeah, Matt, your daddy rejoins in 9th and on those brand new super softs.
Stifler's got past Razor there, so yeah, Greenfin retired in the pits. He's called an early night on his season, and as we mentioned, I'm sure he'll be back stronger next time. We've got a little battle here between the Ferrari of Matt, your daddy, and now Razor as they exit onto this second back straight. And is the Ferrari's got the inside? Is he going to be able to get the job done? Yeah, I think Razor was very kind there and backs out of that one. And yes, it's going to be this this little battle now between Renault and Ferrari that we were talking about earlier means so much in this constructors battle.
Odd that Mario Daddy went to pit onto the super soft. I thought he would have gone ultras.
Lap 19 out of 28.
Surprising.
So not long left.
Yeah. He also changed his front wing, so he lost even more time there. I'm not sure if Kev will be possible anymore.
Jonas is in the pits now for his second and final stop of his season 10. Last time he'll be seeing those mechanics for a while, and he'll exit and try and chase down his teammates. We'll get the exact gap when he comes out of the pit lane. 1 point separate the two of them, so it's all honours between those two McLarens, as Spider Atlas is also coming into the pits in his Renault. So at the moment,
there you go. Matt tries it. Matt tried it down the hairpin, but he didn't get enough drive out of the exit. He's going to set him up now.
Jono, talk us through this one, mate.
Stifler goes defensive, so Matty Daddy goes to the outside. I think they're going to be side by side, pretty much in the braking zone. And they are indeed, so Matty Daddy will get the cut back. He'll come out wide now, I imagine, try and get a good exit from here. Does get a reasonably good exit, and he'll wait for that DRS line and open it as soon as he can. Well, which is the inside there, really aggressive manoeuvre there, and Stifler squeezing him out of space. They nearly skimming the wall there. He's going to go for this, I think, in the braking zone. He does. Oh, and he touches Stifler and he spins into the side of Matty Daddy, who has wing damage from that. And yeah, Matty Daddy's still alongside though. And now backs out. But and now gets a better exit again. They do. I think super aggressive driving from both of them. And you feel that Matty Daddy is going to go for this as Stifler now runs off the circuit in the hotel section, and Matty Daddy gets the position.
He spun it. He spun it.
Oh, that was just such risky driving, you have to say, from both drivers.
That changes things with the constructors battle, guys. That will mean Ferrari will finish ahead. Luki also, that brings him into the points. So Gaza comes in for his final pit stop. Looks like Ferrari will be jumping ahead of Renault in this battle, which means they will finish top 5. And yeah, Renault, disappointing end to the season. It looks like it's going to be for them. Jonas up now into the points, and it looks like Ols is ahead of Gaza, which means that at the moment the gap is 4 points. Ols is going to score only 2 with 9th position, so he needs to move ahead of Luki to even that gap to dead on 4, and then we'd have to do a count back and work out who finished the highest places when. I'm sure Ols has a podium. Stifler retired.
From the session. He had such good pace as well in this race. We saw him earlier on, that right at the front there, and matching Techno's times, but he just couldn't keep his front wing tapped in that race, unfortunately.
Here comes Ols then down the back straight on the Ferrari, Odems.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Ols may have a chance of getting Luki, possibly Razor, and now with wing damage, not your daddy. So who knows? It could get even better for Ols.
Yeah, the Haas needs 4 points or more over the Red Bull team to jump up to 9th position.
That's odd.
Ols could slow right down.
There. What was enough for? Maybe he cut the corner somewhere?
I don't know, it was a strange way. He just looked to lift off the throttle there and drop off the back of the 2 cars ahead of him.
You got Dweller as well, guys. Carry on, Odems.
No, sorry, Razor went wide, but it was just lag. So yeah, very odd seeing Ols just back off. I assume maybe he cut the corner somewhere and just wanted to be fair. I mean, we didn't see it, so he could have kept on going. But
Jono, Dweller half a second now behind Kev. Sauber versus Williams. It was the talking point before the race. Looks like Dweller is going to try and size up one of the Williams drivers here, just to rub a bit of salt into the wound. But at the moment, Sub looked very comfortable to take this championship.
Yeah, he is lining Kev up. He's on the softer compounded tyre, of course, as well, so Kev may struggle to keep him behind here. We know that Kev has put a lot of effort into practice for this race in order to try and get the championship. And Botti Dweller picked up a time penalty as well there for that sort of little bit of messiness through the corner there. And yeah, he's obviously quicker than Kev. He needs to bide his time. He's got plenty of laps. He doesn't want to damage his wing, as we've seen other drivers do. He's got to wait his chance, and I'm sure he'll get an opportunity to make a pass on the Williams.
It was such a late move as well. It was,
yeah,
like, it didn't seem like it was really thought out or anything. As he has yellow.
Virtual safety car.
Oh, okay then. Who's that for?
Stifler, I left the session. So, virtual safety car.
Lukey and Ols are.
Yeah, wow. This virtual
they
safety car, they are nose to tail as they come out of the hotel section, the beautiful hotel section, it has to be said. And this, guys, what do you make of this track? There's been a lot of controversy over this track. People like it, some drivers don't like it, some fans don't like it. Obviously, they pay extra to be the last race of the season, but what do you think about it? Odems, will start with you. DRS is now enabled. Lucas goes for this as well into turn 1.
Oh, cheeky. Razor gets him back though.
It's Ols.
Not Ols. 6 and Ols in.
Matt, your daddy pits, by the way, under that virtual safety car.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why he did that.
Lining Lukey up here.
I don't know why Matty Daddy pit. I'm not sure if he's going to really get anything from that. Maybe he just wants to have a bit of fun towards the end. I don't think he's going to catch Jonas. Here we go. This might be 3 wide.
Yeah, Ray's not stuck to the speed here. And yeah, Ols should get him as well. And Ols goes for a double overtake. Oh, and he hits the apex of the corner. Maybe a slight contact with Lukey, but got away with that one. And he'll look for him now, yeah. He'll wait for that DRS line. Open DRS, move the outside. He might not have enough speed here, though, by the look of it. Lukey with a pretty decent exit himself. And yeah, Ols has to settle him behind.
Whilst we were watching that, guys, Dweller and Kev went side by side down the straight and into the 2 corners that followed. Kev was able to hold the position, though. Dweller all over the back of him. And Techno Thriller looks set to win this race. He eked the gap out to 2.7 seconds. But look at Ols. He wants to, he made that mistake earlier. He wants to get as many points as he can. He tries down the inside. And is he going to spin it? He almost spins it. And the McLaren now goes back through. So, right, ding dong. And look at Jonas in the background. He's on the freshest tyres of them all.
While you were watching that, Kev had to go defensive into the first corner. Because Dweller got a great run. And Dweller couldn't manage it. But he's still gonna have a go again as yellow flag somewhere. Oh, that's Maverick spun it.
Alright, we're right on board with Kevin Dweller then, as this is so close between the 2 of them. Looks like Dweller's going to open the DRS. Surely he's going to have enough of a run here, or is he just doesn't have enough straight line speed possibly?
Yeah, he's so much quicker, especially in the last sector where the tyre advantage really shows, but he just doesn't look to have enough speed. You have to nail an exit and hope that Kev messes one up. But at the moment, Kev is doing enough on the exit of these slow corners to hold the position. He's gone defensive again to the inside. So will he look the outside? He does. The side goes around the outside. Will he hold it this time? I think he does. And yeah, he makes it stick. And up to 4.
Kev almost got him back.
We got
I think the slipstream glitch might be in effect here. I don't think he's getting any slipstream because you know, someone just left the session. That might be a case anyway.
Jonas has a look down the inside of Ols, and he can see his teammate there just in front. And of course, 2 points will mean he finishes higher up than Razor, who's raced here for a long time, and that'll be a good debut season for Jonas if he can do that. Ols goes down the inside. Jonas moves out the way to give him room. Is he going to try do the cutback? Ols, what a late move that was.
That was a late move, and no contact as well. He made it stick, and yeah, brave move there. And all of that has given Lukey a little bit of breathing space. So we'll see if Ols now can set about closing down the Ferrari.
Yeah, Razor lagging all over the place. So here comes Jonas, his teammate, switching back to the inside. Is he going to try something? Razor weaves a little bit, and how are they going to exit this first corner? Razor keeps the lead for the moment.
No idea. I have no idea what Razor is.
Yeah, Jonas gets a penalty as well.
Jonas was really cautious there, I think, because Razor is probably lagging around for him as well.
Like, all of a sudden he's going side by side into one corner, then the next moment Razor's like a second up the road. Really unfortunate there.
Virtual safety car again, so DRS disabled momentarily. seems we've got that glitch where virtual safety car will be making a few appearances before the end of this season, and drivers will have a little breather before we get underway again.
I mean, we've been due a few safety cars this season, so who knows?
Yeah, making up for lost time.
I just wanted to say, by the way, that I believe Techno Chiller had to put the foot down because Kian was actually leading this race on penalties. But Techno Chiller's put the foot down. Now he's, I don't know, with this virtual safety car, it's sort of fluctuating. Is he within 3 seconds? Because he has one less penalty. It's 2.9 now.
Yeah, it's hovering around that 3 second mark. I think it was slightly above 3 seconds before the VSC that time. So, yeah, if there is one penalty between them, then they're actually virtually side by side at the moment on their total race time.
Yep. Looks like Kian's actually in the lead right now. With 3 laps to go, he's going to need to pace it to make sure he stays within 3 seconds. It's so close to breaking out of that as well.
Spider Atlas adds a time penalty to his name as Jonas closes in again on his teammate. As we mentioned, 1 point separate these two McLarens, so where they finish today will determine where they finish in the championship for season 10. And is he going to look down the inside now? Do you think they're both aware of this 1 point that separates them?
I'd imagine they are, for sure.
Look to be racing pretty hard here.
He's only 3 seconds behind these two as well.
Yeah, so need to be careful. DRS is open, and he's definitely gaining, so no slipstream glitch here for Jonas. Oh, what a late move down the inside. That extra grip hits the apex. Where is Razor? Nowhere. He's got that job done, and that looks like he will be finishing ahead of his teammate in this championship.
Looks like it for sure. I remarked earlier that Ols, like, who knows, with the people in front of him, he could gain a few positions. He's got Not Your Daddy, he briefly had Luke, he's got Razart, and now he's chilling in 7th place, and I believe that puts Haas ahead.
It does indeed. It does indeed. That will mean that it's 6 points, so it would put Haas ahead of Red Bull by 2 points if they finish where they are. Now, Sauber look comfortable to, even if Techno Thriller doesn't win this race, they look comfortable enough to take this championship to Sauber. First time Sauber have ever won a Constructors' Championship here at F1 TS Hub, so I believe it'll be a first for them, and many congratulations to them when they do win.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Matty Daddy will have the pace to catch Razor as well before the end of this race. He's taking chunks of time out of him, so we could well see him moving up a bit before the end and trying to get a few more points for Ferrari.
Whoa, migrating host.
Oh.
Yeah.
My whole timing list now says to do.
Same as mine.
So.
It looks like everyone's still racing, and Kian has just lost out on that 3 second barrier. It's a bit cagey. Hopefully this doesn't have any adverse effects on the drivers.
Alls have left the session.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh no.
If everyone starts to leave the session, I imagine, John, from the steward's perspective, we'd take the results as they were with only a few laps to go. But yeah, it's really hard to work out who's where. Alls has left the session. He was in. Yeah, this is possibly gonna cost him the.
Matt's gotten past Razor.
Yeah, saw that.
He has picked up another time penalty as well, though. I've seen him cutting a few corners. So, and so does Kevin, so does Jamie. So these last couple of laps, everyone's pushing as hard as they can, and the time penalties are coming in thick and fast. So yeah, we'll have to wait for those final results to see where the drivers actually end up.
Yeah, definitely.
Now the gap between Keen and Techno.
We got 15 to-dos racing, whatever that means. So, to do in a list, and the House of Alls falling down the order.
They need to fix.
Yep, they definitely do. Enhanced multiplayer.
Right to 3.3 seconds as well. So Techno does look to be just about doing enough. I'm sure Kian's absolutely giving it everything to try and get that gap down, but Techno looks to have it under control. He also looks to have better tyre wear on the second stint. He doesn't seem to drop off the same as he does in that first stint of the race.
The softs are quite durable as well.
So guys, we I don't know if you remember, in Australia we tried the full qualifying format. We had issues with it. It seems we're going to end this season exactly how we started it. Issues with the enhanced multiplayer as it was advertised on the box. But that's a story for another day. Disappointing we can't see everyone's name on the left hand side. But Tejwar now left the session. He was retired early in the race. But 15 drivers still running, penultimate lap of this whole season. And guys, if you had to sum the season up in one word, what would this podium tier bring to mind for you?
Chaotic.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good word. It's definitely been action-packed, but its fair share of chaos along the way. A lot of it due to the game, you have to say, as well, as much as the drivers on the track.
I do love, my favourite feature of the podium tier is just how at the start of the season no driver wanted to run away with the championship. It seemed that mine would take the lead and then he would just hit a bad run of form and lose it. Then he'd look like he's out of contention and then Technotrip would take the lead. Then he'd hit a slump and then Keane would take the lead and he'd just get disconnected, and then they were just swapping and dicing, and then that amazing Belgian race where all of a sudden Dweller and Bookster were in contention for the championship. I just love the dynamics of how crazy it was, and I think this race is pretty much summed this whole season up. It's just chaotic and we don't know what's going on. What you know what's going on is that Techno is going to win this race.
Yep, Techno Thriller comes through the last couple of corners. This podium tier has put a fantastic show on all season. We've been so proud of him here at F1 TS Hub. Techno Thriller couldn't take the championship, but he's going to take the final win, and Sauber are surely going to win this constructors battle. We can see that Keane crosses a line to finish in first?
Second. By exactly a second.
On my screen it shows that Techno Thriller's in second.
It does. Oh, you're right, yeah. Keane, it looks like Keane's taking the lead.
Wow, what a... I'm not sure how that happened. Bookster's finishing in third. Then we've got another Sauber. That's going to be Dweller, bringing up the next train of cars in fourth position. I don't know what happened there.
Bookster got right up to the back of Keane. Right up to the back of him.
So,
only 1.4 behind.
Fifth is going to be Kev, I believe. Fizzy? No, Kev jumps to fourth. Oh, this is
front wing.
This is going to be what's that down the bottom? Yellow flags in sector 1 with the, it says Ing
Lukey
flag.
and Razor are side by side. we completely missed that. Razor just overtook Lukey.
Lukey's going backwards across the line. So we'll just wait for the final results before we start saying. So a crazy end to a crazy season here at the podium tier, and it's been a fantastic 20 races. These podium boys have put on an absolute worldie of a show for us, and it's fantastic to see them come across the line for the final time here in season 10. Let's find out exactly what happened as the last driver crosses the line to end the season 10 podium tier on a high here in Abu Dhabi. My screen's on loading. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
Oh, so looks like Keane has won the race. Keane's stolen. That will affect the constructors' battle. We'll wait to just get confirmation of this, but I can't actually see any drivers' names next to.
No.
And it doesn't make sense that Keane finished ahead. As you said, Odems, Dweller had 2 and Keane had 1. So when they crossed the line, I'm sure it was more than 3 seconds.
It was nearly 4. It was about 3.9, I believe.
So. We can't bring you confirmation of the final race. We can't tell you who has won the Constructors' Championship. We're going to have to investigate this to find out exactly who finished where. Ols obviously got kicked at the last minute as well. That could have a bearing on who finished last and second last in this championship. But a bit of a disappointing end in a sense. We're almost heading into this one blindfolded, but it was a great race nonetheless. It's been a great season from this podium tier, and we will be able to shortly crown some constructors champions. But boys, final thoughts on this race and this podium tier. Odems, we'll start with you.
This tier has been a joy to watch, a joy to commentate on. I've been very jealous of Jono that he got to, commentate on the back stretch of it, because I've really enjoyed watching them. But I did obviously follow the races anyway. On a word of note, that Bookster caught right up to the back of the two at the end because he had no penalties. So if he had a bit better pace, we could have had even more confusion on who won the race. And also, in all that confusion, Razor caught up to the back of Veluki, and he spun him on the last corner after he made the move. So it was just so chaotic, and I loved every second of it.
Well, Jono, any thoughts? You obviously joined in commentary for a lot of this this podium tier. They're almost like your boys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great fun to commentate on. I think they've given us an exciting race every single time out. And yeah, as you get to know these drivers, we've seen their various strengths and weaknesses. And you generally turn up on a Friday night not knowing what's going to happen, who's going to win, and yeah, how the race is going to pan out. And that's what you want. You want it to be unpredictable, and it's certainly that. And yeah, fantastic season. And now we'll look forward to obviously the Pinnacle tier race next, and then the season 11 reveal on the 30th of March.
There we are. You summed it up pretty well. Thank you very much to this entire podium tier for putting on a great season for us. It's been fantastic season 10. It's been fantastic commentating, and you've been an absolute pleasure to watch. As Jono mentioned, 30th of March, the season 11 reveal. All will be revealed for the 11th season at F1 TS Hub. We can't wait to share everything we've got planned. The rebrand happened earlier tonight on F1 TS Hub. Go check out the new logo. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. It's all fantastic. It's all happening. And at 9 PM tonight, we have the Pinnacle tier for the final time also this season. No championships up for grabs, but just a bit of fun, and I'm sure there'll be lots of entertainment. Thank you very much, Jono and Odens, for joining me tonight for this final time in this podium tier, and I'm sure we will see you back next season in the commentary box. Thank you everyone for watching, and make sure you hit that subscribe. I'll see you for the Pinnacle tier. Thank you.